I tell you, I didn't kill him. I had nothing to do with it. I'm sure you're dead. You know why I'm so sure? Why? Because I can smell you all over his butt, all over the corpse of the poor bird's corpse. I didn't do it, I tell you. Here are 5 quick theories that were too short for separate videos and we suck at making shorts for YouTube. Hi! Question 1. Does Thunderhoof have bad vision? 2. Can you be loyal to a boss you hate? 3. Can Stank make you a permanent part monster? 4. What are the vehicons? And 5. Did Knockout deliberately let Ratchet get away? Join us down these baby rabbit holes. Does Thunderhoof have bad vision? Throughout the show, I had noticed that Thunderhoof relies a lot on his hearing. He occasionally looks around like he's blind, blinking and leaning his head forward more than usual. You wouldn't know he was blind because he doesn't mention it. He acts like he can see most of the time and his eyes stay lit.
Hey, oh! What's going on here? Where'd all my little worker weirdos run off to?
You're under arrest.
Don't go barking rules and regulations at me, officer. I'm Thunderhoof, see? I ran some of the biggest criminal enterprises on Cybertron. Half you cops were on my payroll. Cybertron? I'm still stuck on this backwater planet.
So the problem isn't with his eyes, but with his brain. The blindness acts more like a glitch, acting up at random times and only for a few seconds. Considering how often he headbutts things, this makes sense. He has a bad habit of lowering his head too much, exposing the back of his skull to most of the impact. This in turn damages the back of his brain where visual information is prevalent, and because it's brain damage, it can't be fixed. A crime boss who can't see attackers will be seen as weak, so he has every reason to not tell anyone. And to be honest, he's not the first big bad Decepticon to have vision problems.
And conquer worlds.
Does Fox hate Palpatine? Fox is willing to pick a fight with the Jedi if they give him a bad order, but Jedi only make little problems.
Thank you, Commander. But you can call off your search.
But, sir, we have ships in the area.
That will be all, Commander.
Plus, he can't truly hate them when they actively did their best to talk Palpatine out of bringing a giant death lizard to Coruscant.
With respect, Chancellor, I believe this creature could pose any number of dangers. Bringing it here to Coruscant is a mistake.
Palpatine he would absolutely hate because he brought a giant death lizard to Coruscant.
I have no doubt the Jedi.
A lot of innocent people died because of this. So if he was willing to argue with a person he dislikes, imagine how much Fox could argue with someone he absolutely hated. Honestly, you pause this scene and it looks like they've got an argument. They had an argument hours ago, and Fox is still sulking. He can't even bother to keep track of Palpatine, having to do a full turnaround just to find him. But this brings up the question: isn't he super loyal? No more than any other clone. Think about it. Of all the clones are super loyal to whoever's in charge of them because it was drilled into them from a very early age, especially the commanders. It's part of why they're willing to die for their general, commander, brothers, and an ideal. But that loyalty wavers when they're treated poorly. Take the 501st loyalty towards Krell. It didn't last long.
Your reputation precedes you, General. It is an honor to be serving you.
I find it very interesting, Captain, that you are able to recognize the value of honor for a clone.
Day 4.
Tell me, who gave you the orders to attack us? It was General Krell. This point forward, we are entering uncharted territory. My orders are, we arrest General Krell for treason against the Republic.
1 hour later.
How could you do this? You had my trust, my loyalty. I followed all of your orders, and you made me kill my brothers!
That's because you were the biggest fool of them all, Doctor. I counted on blind loyalty like yours to make my plan succeed. You can't do it, can you? Eventually, you'll have to do the right thing.
Fox's loyalty is the same. Palpatine keeps withholding information from him, lying to his face, and giving him bad orders. This makes him impossible to trust, respect, or be loyal to. The only thing that keeps Fox coming is his duty. The fact that Fox will argue with higher-ups and change orders behind their backs proves that it's pure duty. He'll follow his cops or soldier duties based on the circumstances. His cop duties dictate that he should capture Fives alive for questioning, but his soldier duties dictate that he should follow orders and kill Fives. Which one do you think he chose to follow?
The Chancellor is incapable of what you claim. He is! I swear to you, General, you have no idea.
Stand down, soldier! Stand down! Get on your knees!
No! Stay back!
Don't do it, soldier!
Mac the Bully is half monster. Randy Cunningham, 9th grade ninja theory. He's the bully with sharp teeth and Bash's gang. Let's start with his appearance. Shark-like teeth, he's very large for a kid his age, his eyes are practically in his hairline, and he has no forehead. His behavior. He mostly acts like any other bully but eats inedible things and never talks, and he prefers wearing torn clothes. The stanked children become unusually large, grow sharp teeth, and their eyes sit really high up on the head, erasing the forehead. They tend to eat inedible things, rarely talk, and their clothes are always torn. If we ever got to see his eyes, I'm pretty sure they would have been yellow. It probably explained why he has messy bangs. So, how do you get a partial monster? More than likely, his mom got pregnant as a teenager and got stank several times while still in school. Something that is likely highly discouraged because of the stank. The stank doesn't have a permanent effect on teens and adults. But a baby? A baby during fetal development is highly susceptible to genetic changes. So him coming out somewhat monstrous makes sense. Luckily, it didn't do too much damage as he does function normally and can pull off being mostly normal.
We now interrupt this wonderful program to give you an ad. This business was started by a homeless man, and he is now using the money to help other homeless people out of poverty. On his site, he sells products that he puts QR codes on that take you to other small businesses. So, curious on what the little guy's selling or want to do your part helping the homeless? Just go to bonfire.com/store/live to inspire/ or click the link in the description. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
The vehicons are clones! In Transformers Prime. In the clone episode, Starscream stumbled across a cloning lab and had a bunch of overgrown, possibly sparkless protoforms in need of energon and CNA. He was surprised to find one there, but not surprised that this was something the scientists perfected.
Let's see, transference of binary bonding, submolecular infusion. The formulas seem straightforward enough. Well, my little lumps of clay, you look like you're ripe for the molding. Let's give cloning a whirl, shall we?
Meaning he already knew that it was a successful project and even knew how it worked. He likely knew about it because he got to see it in action making the vehicons.
We are as one, Commander. We share your memories, your very feelings, even your insatiable quest for power. I see.
But this brings up the question, whose clones are they? Why did they need so many? And where did they get all the protoforms? Who are they clones of? Most likely, the original scientist assistants. The clones have the same memories and habits as the originals. Hardworking, average intelligence, and loyal. They do their job and not much else, making them the perfect assistants. Why so many? Considering how long the war has been going on and the insanely slow growth cycle of Cybertronians, their numbers would have dropped too quickly. Megatron would have needed a way to increase numbers without having to train a bunch of literal children that can't hold their modes. Hence, clones. Where did all the protoforms come from? Most likely, they were new sparks that were collected while Cybertron was dying. Instead of being cared for and fed, leading them to become regular bots, they get taken in for Decepticon scientists and their sparks carefully split to make more. Instead of getting twins, they get anywhere from 10 to 50 protoforms. Protoforms will continue to grow, deprived of half of their caretaker's genetic code, leading them to quickly become adult-sized and functional, but seemingly lifeless. The genetic code within the spark degrades to the point that inserting someone else's code could create a clone, memories and all. This process explained why it was insanely rare to find Decepticon children, whereas the Autobots raised their own. Megatron's literally ordered a bunch of scientists to starve Cybertronian fetuses so he could have made-to-order troops. Did Knockout let Ratchet get away on purpose? Transformers Prime. First, let's watch the scenes.
Fetch me the quantum cyber measure.
Do I look like hired help to you, Autobot?
Knockout, attend to the needs of our esteemed guest.
As you command.
So we know this cyber matter to be produced by an atypical molecular displacement reaction.
Extensive empirical evidence indicates the fundamental instability within the Synthen formulation to be the cause.
Double-blind analysis?
Naturally. The results only confirmed my original hypothesis. Once the erroneous variable has been corrected for, the stabilized synthetic material will bind properly with cybernucleic acid.
And produce a stable form of cyber matter. Remarkable.
Yes. Quite an act of providence.
And to think that had we not let you destroy the beasts, none of this would be possible.
Let?
What I meant to say was, those specimens you requested earlier aren't going to prepare themselves, are they?
There is much to do in little time, Doctor. Shall we get back to work?
Certainly.
Knockout. I require a fresh CNA sample.
Knockout. Bring this. Knockout. Get that. Apparently fetching is all I'm good for lately. It wasn't all that long ago I used to run this lab. Now I'm everyone's gopher. Yes?
The isoprobe. I don't see one.
What a surprise. Anything else?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The final piece of the puzzle. Thank you, Decepticon Engineering.
Shockwave! Assembly of the Omega Lock is entering the final stage. Your guidance is required.
Understood, my liege. Knockout. Supervise our guest in my absence.
Wow, thanks for the big vote of confidence.
I can't allow Megatron to possess the stabilized formula. Not now, or ever.
For the love of what is happening?
The formula's instability. It must have triggered a chain reaction.
Guards, help me extinguish this inferno before it scorches the project. And my finish.
At first, it doesn't look out of place or set up until you watch Knockout closely. It starts with Knockout watching Ratchet work, refusing to obey until Shockwave orders it. Him listening for a minute before having a slip of the tongue.
And to think that had we not let you destroy the beasts, none of this would be possible.
Ratchet is confused, and Knockout looks up at Shockwave like he's worried he might catch on, quickly changing the subject and backing off in worry, seemingly pleased when it works. Shockwave switches to science mode and convinces Ratchet to help. Ratchet looks to the side in thought, clearly thinking on Knockout's words. Then we move to them all working. Knockout complains loudly as he retrieves a sample. When getting a jar, he tips one over absentmindedly and walks away. Ratchet sees it and goes over to pull it out. Knockout turns to see him standing next to the partly open cabinet, watching him fail at sneaking. He gets Ratchet's attention, and Ratchet sends him to fetch an isoprobe. Knockout gives him a sarcastic remark and an eye roll before going back to the desk behind him, looking back at him to check on him. Him giving this look of criticism before Ratchet gives him the go-on head nod, turning his back on him and stalling as he searches while Ratchet loudly pries the sample free. Him turning and looking down in thought before looking at him, surprised Ratchet actually got it free. He walks up to him with an impatient tone and hands him the tool. Ratchet thanks him and he's surprised and happy, sauntering off.
You're welcome.
He then spends several minutes working with a smile, giving Shockwave lip when given an order.
Wow, thanks for the big vote of confidence.
Not once does he turn around despite Ratchet's loud chatter and footsteps until he blew something up. Knockout responding like he expected it.
For the love of what is happening?
Ratchet deadly lies to his face and he calls in the guards to put it out, letting Ratchet escape.
Before it scorches the project! And my finish!
Knockout then calls Megatron per protocol and beats around the bush so Megatron would hang up on him. It doesn't work and he's forced to spit it out.
The prisoner has escaped!
She gets caught and Knockout jokes before putting the sample away.
Nice try. I'll just put this back where it belongs.
Why did he want Ratchet to get away? Knockout himself can't tell Predaking the truth about his sibling's death because Megatron would kill him if he found out.
Lord Megatron, you're not saying you intend to pull the plug on Shockwave's beloved Project Predacon?
Your conclusion is most logical, my liege.
But what happens if that fire-breathing brute discovers our treachery?
Knockout also knows that Megatron gave Ratchet all the scientific information about the project, but not the truth of how it will be used. Something Ratchet had to look for, given the right motivation.
And to think that had we not let you destroy the beasts, none of this would be possible.
Optimus, you must hurry. Megatron is preparing to cyberform Earth as we speak.
Predaking will kill Ratchet before he can warn the Autobots if he doesn't know the truth. If Megatron even suspects that Knockout helped him escape, he would have chained Knockout to the lab and removed his voice box, never to leave or speak again. Ratchet would have gotten his ripped out too, so he wouldn't be able to talk down Predaking. Letting Ratchet get away, then calling Megatron, makes Knockout look innocent, saving both their sparks from awful fates. Megatron made it pretty clear he doesn't trust Knockout.
Who else? Do you think I would entrust you to see this key safely to the vault containing the other one? We must operate as a united front if we are to revive and conquer Cybertron. That means each and every one of us knock out.
Knockout was the only one who voted against killing the Predacons and stayed out of committing the treachery. He also knows that Megatron is a cold, dangerous, unjust, stubborn, insane, and prideful leader. Someone who doesn't, someone you don't want ruling an entire planet, much less two. Not only that, but he knows that if the cyber matter is used on Earth, it would bring Unicron back with a better, bigger body, and every living thing in the universe would get wiped out. If Knockout spilled his concerns, it would fall on deaf ears just like all his other warnings. Next question. When did Knockout get a change of spark? The moment he truly starts questioning everything is when Megatron leaves him in the wall, him being discarded despite his usefulness for something that wasn't his fault. Little things piling on top of that. Megatron doesn't listen to any of his concerns, despite Knockout being right 90% of the time, and Shockwave, Starscream, and Soundwave sides with Megatron on pretty much everything. Reason is a losing battle. Knockout is a really good actor, as it's a skill he uses to stay alive. He even states,
"Try as you might, you can't con a con."
Meaning he knows how to make a setup not look like a setup. He purposely gave Ratchet every opportunity to find the truth and an opening to escape. Unfortunately, Ratchet blurts out things he notices. Meaning if Knockout acts out of the ordinary, Ratchet will unintentionally call him out. Knockout even continues to play innocent until the last big fight, stalling where he can until Predaking kills Megatron or the Autobots arrive. When where he then sneaks around trying to quietly join Team Prime while avoiding blaster fire. This is the start of Knockout's redemption arc.
At last, good riddance to a wretched species.
Although I will say they manufacture some fine-looking automobiles.
And that's our 5 short theories. If we come up with more, we'll make another video just like this. If you got short theories, go ahead and put it in the comments. We just might add it to our video. And that's what we got. Bye! Comment, like, and subscribe. Don't be rude to me. Bye!